I was going through some home videos when I found my first Lego movie, and it was great to find it again. I was worried that it might have been lost, and I was glad to find it mostly intact. But there was part of it that was taped over by my sister, and that was over 10 years ago. There's nothing to do about it now, but it just touched on something I've been thinking about a lot recently, which is lost media and just lost things in general, things that for one reason or another have been lost to time and you can't get back. And one thing I've been trying to do recently in the last couple of months is archive the videos from all the YouTube channels, or at least the ones that I really care about, archive all their videos, download them onto a hard drive so that if anything happens to them, I'll still have them to watch and maybe show to other people, because quite a few of them have been taken down or have had their videos taken down for copyright, or they've just disappeared into the ether. The creator, their whole channel, and every video they made. And I would think, well, it's a shame I never thought to download them when I had the chance, when they were still up and available. And if I just had the notion to do that, then maybe they wouldn't be lost now. And this gets me thinking, does anyone even care? It's just a little, usually it's Lego videos, and I think, does anyone even care that this Lego video no longer exists? Am I the only one that it really mattered to? Who saw this video when it was posted and has even thought about it since then? And I think a lot of people don't remember that sort of thing. They just enjoy it in the moment and then don't really think about it again unless they're shown it and they think, oh, I remember that. Oh, wow, such a flashback. And I have a really good memory about that sort of thing. Not just about the videos themselves, or even beyond videos, and if it's art or books or movies or music or just an atmosphere. If it's like a room and the layout, and I'm thinking about the bed where I'm sitting, where I was sitting on that day, and what I was doing, what kind of media I was watching or reading or looking at, if it was a book or a website, and I have it all tangled together. It's all mushed together, and I can't have one without the other. I can't remember things without having a bittersweet nostalgia for that moment in time. And even if it's not a particularly meaningful piece of media, it still has that meaning because it's connected to that moment. It helped me remember that moment, and whether that was a really good moment or a really kind of a sad moment, or even just a normal moment, just an ordinary day in the life. It's a glimpse into what my life used to be like, into what the world used to be like for me, the way that I experienced the world at that time. And I think that media, they do have meaning to me, even if it's just a silly Batman animation where he's stopping a bank robbery, or it's an update video where a brick filmer is saying what their plans are and what they're going to do next. And even if it never materializes, it was important to me in that moment because I wanted to know what they were going to do next. I wanted to know what their next project was and if they were making progress on it. And so that's why I have been going through and archiving as best I can whatever videos I think hold significance to me. And the process has been pleasant in some ways because it has reminded me of all these things that I'd largely forgotten, beyond just the videos themselves. Like I said, all the memories and emotions I have associated with them. But it's also bittersweet because I know that time in my life is over. The days when I first got an iTouch and started watching YouTube and subscribing to brick filmers, or the time when I was on that particular binge, when I was really into that particular creator and their videos. That one summer, for instance, while I was visiting my grandparents at their house. The world's changed since then. And even in the instances where the material circumstances have remained more or less the same, going back to those spaces hasn't brought back that era, just as going back to those videos hasn't brought it back either. I don't know if I was trying to recapture something by going back through those videos and archiving them are in the various other hobbies I've been pursuing in recent years. Collecting old video games, old Lego sets, watching old movies, reading old books and comic books. I feel like something is slipping through my fingers like sand. I don't know quite what it is, if it's a feeling or a mindset or a concept. I don't know if it's already gone and I'm just now realizing it and trying to undo what's already been done. But that's why old media is so precious to me, because once it becomes lost media, then all you have of it are the memories, and you don't have it around to remind you. For me, more often than not, it's not things themselves that are valuable, but it's what they're connected to, what they represent to you. Sometimes they represent friends, they represent certain experiences. Sometimes they just represent a chapter in your life. Maybe at the time you didn't think it was a particularly remarkable chapter of your life, or maybe even thought it was a bad one. But in hindsight, it's those precious moments that stick out among all the unpleasant ones. And I keep thinking, God, if only I could go back and enjoy that some more. If only I had made more of it in that moment, when those opportunities were present, when the world around me was as it was at that time. When a certain fan community was alive and thriving. When my neighbor lived next door to me and hadn't moved somewhere else. When I was still close friends with someone that I've become distant from. When I would have appreciated things I missed out on. And just going on a website and all the images and posts and just the window into that person that was sharing those things and the people around them that were enjoying it and experiencing it. And just seeing that moment in time frozen to be appreciated and studied. And to now see it jagged and incomplete. The Wayback Machine is a blessing, but it can only do so much. I'm not here to talk about the necessity of preserving these things. I'm just saying that I regret not doing my own share of it with the things that mattered most to me, and probably to very few others. I'll always have my memories of them, but without the thing itself to remind me, it's incomplete. It has a certain empty ring to it, though I try to save what I can, as others have done. That footage in my first Lego movie is irreplaceable. I don't remember what it was exactly, and there's no way of getting it back. And just like the Lego videos that I'm trying to preserve, and all that media and all those things that hold such meaning for me, they are irreplaceable because they have that connection, but not as much as the thing they represent themselves. I think that's even more irreplaceable, because an item or a piece of media you can experience again, even if it isn't the same. You'd still have it whenever you want it, usually. But that moment only exists then. And however much you try to replicate it, it doesn't come back. You can dig into the past like an archaeologist and try to piece together how things were. Try to find what's unique and special about those artifacts of the past, of the particular place and time that they were made, or that you discovered them, that you associate them with, or that other people associate them with, but you can never really experience that moment. You can never really experience that time. I think more than just things, more than just the videos that have been deleted or blocked or whatever. I miss everything that was going on around it. I miss the community and the buzz, the excitement when a new video came out, or just the small satisfaction of going through the comments and maybe posting one of your own, of discovery. Maybe I'll learn to discover new things again. I hope I can. I wish that I could have talked to some of these people as they were back then. I've talked to one or two over the years. One LEGO YouTuber suggested that the best thing to do, even more than archiving and preserving the work itself, is to tell stories about them. I don't know quite what she meant by it. If she meant to tell stories inspired by them or tell stories about them, but I've certainly done my share of telling stories inspired by them, and now I think I'm going to tell some stories about them. I'm going to record a video series. I'm going to go through individually, one by one, and discuss some of my most influential brick filmers. And mostly these will be YouTubers. I just want to share some stories of my experience on the platform and what I saw and what really left an impact on me, even as I move forward from that time. I don't want those moments to be forgotten. And even if the media itself doesn't live on, then I want the memory to. Because sometimes that's all you have.